Welcome to Four Raving Lunatics. Four guys standing around talking about whatever we want to talk about. There is some structure to the show. Normally we have a couple segments that are pretty constant and then a rotating segment that we choose week to week on what we want to talk about. Hopefully you find it entertaining, and if you like it, we do have a Facebook page, Facebook group, and a YouTube page. Share us, get us out there.
And you are Rob, you already said. I'm James.
I'm Andrew.
I am Jay.
And
I am Jay.
we are trying to get a podcast going so that you can have this on an audio format also. And not just have to visit YouTube to see.
So we're looking into hosting sites to be able to use iTunes. Haven't nailed anything down yet. There'll be more on that later. Once we figure out more, we'll definitely let you in. But
before the next episode, the goal is to have a podcast.
Right.
So
with the current episodes uploaded up to this point. So, and look for more activity from us or from the page on Facebook.
don't promise things unless
Yeah.
you go under the river. Yeah,
I-
how much
I-
time are you going to have the next couple weeks to be doing that?
Fair enough, but I'll try. I'll try.
We'll have a special Thanksgiving episode on location.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
For Black Friday.
You can walk around with a body cam and just interview us, so everybody out there can see what hell's like.
I mean, I could just come in with the camera and just keep recording until somebody asks me to leave.
I would say that might be against our media policy.
I'm sure it is, but I don't have a media
What
policy.
about that? What about that nerd that came in and taped the whole Star Wars?
That was
opening?
allowed.
Yeah.
That was
I actually
arranged.
thought
Yeah,
about about requesting.
Black Friday,
Yeah.
Four Raving Lunatics.
Can I just
Yeah.
come in and hang out for a podcast?
See, we had a two there for a second, and he disappeared already.
I actually just want to record the chaos. I
Just stand
want
there
to be
and
like
watch
a
the
media
crowd.
person, just all right, somebody's complaining. Like here on Milwaukee, it's like, look, idiot. And
Idiot alert. Edit the video afterward before we upload it. Just singles it in.
You can interview him.
Wow.
Why are you such an asshole? Hold a pen up to him.
That's true. You have no left anyway. You should be like, why are you being a dick today, sir? Do you really need this toy, ma'am?
is it worth hurting another human being for that?
Right. I'm going to also, when I'm done here, interview the kid you stomped. Alright, so what do you want to start out with?
Peeves.
Somebody else go first.
I'll go first. I don't care. Mine is just the disregard for everyone in general. Everyone seems to be offended over everything. I'm not real sure where that comes from, and it stems from this whole Cam Newton thing, which I'm sure at least you've seen, where he done a dance and some lady wrote a letter to the North Carolina Post about it. And
What?
I don't get it. He scored. He done a touchdown dance, and she said it was profane, and it wasn't. He didn't have any, sexual gestures or anything. He was just dancing. Of course,
She was an uptight religious person, I'm sure, who, dancing is outside of her
no.
box of...
She from Footloose. Yeah.
Well, he did dance for a long time, and I guess you can say it was an extended celebration. And of course, one of the opposing players got mad and come up and got in his face, and it was a player who had sacked him earlier in the game and danced after sacking him. But apparently Cam's dance was too long, so he
Isn't there penalties for that?
took
for
exception.
he
It's,
was
too far.
He was
It's
by
not
himself.
Showboating, it's more unsportsmanship.
Yeah, so
Well,
long,
but I
so
mean,
long
that's
as
what
it's
it's
not
for.
a choreographed or planned thing, the NFL kind of lets them get away with it.
To an extent, but then it gets excessive the longer it goes or the more elaborate.
Now, I did see something. Did he actually respond with, if you want me to stop dancing,
Yes.
stop me?
Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the way it should be.
I saw that, and I was like, where did this come from? I just saw pictures. Somebody was like,
well, I mean, I used to play sports. I don't have a problem with someone being happy that they done well. No one has a problem with Jordan hitting a shot over Craig Elo or whoever it was, and then cheering and happy,
running down,
emotion.
being like,
yeah. So I mean, my thing is, as long as you're not getting in someone's face and saying face just won the game, pointing at them or something. Like, why can you not be happy? Are you supposed to be a robot? And everyone's like, well, Barry Sanders is such a nice guy, and he just handed the ball and walked. It's like, yeah, but
That was his.
Yeah,
he
that's his
scored.
persona,
He
yeah.
scored lots of touchdowns. He just handed the ball and acted like he'd done it before because he had. If it was a championship game, he would probably celebrate. Now, he might not belittle his opponent, but he would probably show some emotion.
He just never had anything to play for, so he never had to.
I'm sure
he was on the
somebody-
line, so.
I'm sure there was somebody that was offended because Terrell Davis saluted
I mean,
every time he did something good.
I'm offended when people.
So am I, but
I'm offended when you Tebow.
I'm more offended the fact that it's retarded when this happens.
but once again, live and let live. Like, who cares? Like,
Yeah, I
he
mean-
wasn't doing anything to anyone. The lady said that it offended her 9-year-old daughter, and it was awesome. Levitar was talking about the lady said something about averting her 9-year-old daughter's eyes to the cheerleaders, and he's like,
and they left.
yes, you could look at the objectification of women. Just don't look at the black man dancing. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't understand why everyone gets offended so easily, I guess.
And it's the society we live in, man. Everybody's butthurt about something.
Like, gotta complain. Can't believe they did that. Can't believe they did that.
I really think
What is
it's social media and everything. Everybody's feels that they're entitled to their own opinion and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
and everybody thinks that everybody cares what they think of now just because everybody's connected. And
That's that South Park, though. I'm a Yelp reviewer,
yeah,
and they have the special status in restaurants.
Oh, and I'm a Yelp reviewer. This would be free.
yeah,
That's what the entire internet is, a Yelp reviewer for everybody else.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
we need like a comet. I might have said that already on one of these shows, but I'm all for like something wiping out our infrastructure. No more podcasts, but hey, you know.
Anyway,
Always wanted to try out my Fallout skills.
Yeah.
In real life.
that would be my pet peeve.
Bro, dies day one.
Yeah. Mine is also an offended thing, but it's more of a. I saw today, actually, not too long before I got here, about a pastor somewhere complaining about the massacre in France at this Eagles of Death Metal concert. Never heard the band, never listened to them, just was like, these guys are worshiping the devil. They were at this concert that worships the devil. It's a death metal concert. It's blah, blah, blah. And he was blaming all of these, like, 84 victims that died at this thing for being evil and devil worshipping and all of this stuff. And that's why God cleaned house.
What about the other 30
So-
people that died?
So
Well, that started. It just kind of expanded because it was a riot.
Oh,
So-
that's retarded.
No kidding. I was just like, wow, we have people that think like that.
Well,
and just for starters, the Eagles of Death Metal aren't a death metal band
No kidding.
whatsoever.
No kidding. It's
At
a
all.
play on word. Like,
Yeah.
it's ironic.
It's pretty much the guys from Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
well, this is going to get into a little bit of my religious philosophy, and that is, why are you judging the people that are there? Whatever belief system you follow probably does not deem judgment well. So you probably shouldn't do that.
My guess is,
Jesus talks to me and he said that's bad.
well, that's it.
I don't believe that.
My guess is that
Either one.
my book says you shouldn't worship the devil and you shouldn't do things that honor the devil. Therefore, had you not honored the devil, bad things would not have happened to you.
But, once again, their book's belief system is based on this guy who believes treat every person like,
Yeah.
a special snowflake or with passion. And
Not
I
everyone's
don't
a
think would
snowflake,
be like,
yes.
oh yes, they deserve to die.
Yeah.
The people murdering him, he didn't deem worthy of death.
I mean,
so,
he made a point to say, I don't condone what they did, the terrorists
No,
did.
sounds
'Cause
like
they're just murderers. But had these people not even been in that situation, they wouldn't have had anyone to murder.
So God wouldn't have called on fanatical warriors to come murder you if you didn't like
No, that never
satanic
happens.
music.
No. I mean, If we all listened to Gaithers, everything would be better,
Yeah.
James.
But I mean, it just goes into the whole: can you use people to have war for religion? It's like, well, if you're following the belief system that you're supposed to be following,
No.
it's like, yeah.
No. 'Cause pretty sure the Christ man was pretty, down on,
Christ, man, do you have a t-shirt?
Oh.
yeah.
No.
The J man.
Hey, let's bring back Buddy Christ.
Buddy Christ.
Or Christ, or Jesus, my homeboy shirts. Let's.
Pretty sure he wasn't down with mass murder.
Yeah, and
I'm not the biggest religious person.
What's the funny picture where it's like Jesus, a socialist hippie? He can learn a thing or two about real conservatism.
that's my crazy viewpoint. Is like, oh, forgive them, Father, and instead of, oh, they deserve that.
Yeah.
I don't condone the people
You
who murdered
heathens.
them.
They don't think like me.
Die.
Anyway.
All right.
Well,
Lighten the mood.
my complaint is it kind of deals with work. Don't bring your kids with you when you pick up your layaway. Like, if these presents are supposedly coming from Santa Claus and you don't want your kids to see it, then don't bring them. It's not my responsibility to secretly stash and hide and covertly get you your stuff. Like, I'm just going to give it to you. If your kid sees it, tough shit.
I'm gonna have to let you guys see what I've got done so far with my book, but that's one of the things that I have is like, I can't. If you don't want if you don't want them to see the stuff, why are you bringing your kid?
Can you
with
double bag it and then slide it in this other bag? It's a present. No.
No, we even had the people who were like in the kids in the vehicle, and we're loading up the power. This is supposed to be a surprise. Can you not let them see it? It's like,
No.
it's as big as your damn car.
Yeah, go up and gouge the kid's
I
eyes
was gonna
out.
say, let me stab you in the eyes.
That's great.
If you kids look, I'll fucking kill you.
But yeah, I mean,
Pull your eyes out.
I haven't had it this year. Like, I mean, I've had this problem this year, but I haven't had, years before, people, like, getting red about it and wanting to, like, you've ruined my child's Christmas, and,
Hey, I've
Your
heard
child
that-
has the attention span of
yeah.
a bug.
ruining Christmas. I've
He's
heard
gonna
you do
forget
that.
we were. He's gonna forget you were at the
With
store tomorrow. All right. Next.
I got nothing.
Come on, Jay.
I seriously got nothing.
What annoys you? This is 2 weeks now that you're just like, well,
It's gonna be-
He is a very happy
It's going to
human
be
being.
again because I've already said it once. I don't know where these seasonal hires, especially for overnight, come from. I asked somebody because I'm starting to think it's like the people that don't have a job. They're going to the employment office and somebody's like, because these aren't people. It's like, I want to work in a toy store. Somebody's like, well, this place is hiring. Let me just apply. There you go. Because none of these guys are smart enough to like.
Tie their shoes.
I don't know if they can use a computer.
I think that it's just like, well, let's take the worst. Like, all right, you got out of prison, just go get in line there at that toy store.
Okay, I've been on overnights. This is my 5th year, and in all that time, I'm sure you've seen some bad stuff. But this new guy we have took an A-frame ladder, takes it to the aisle, and I'm going to have him just get up, and I'm going to tell him what I need and pull it down. He took the ladder,
That's really hard.
leaned it against the box on the overstock, and started to climb it. Didn't open the damn ladder. I had to tell him to open it and climb the ladder. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that level of retarded and stupid. He beats. I think I can say it, Jack. If you're watching, I don't care. He beats Jack in stupidity.
I'm sure Jack doesn't know what a podcast is.
But he
found my
trucked him.
elbow.
And then
Are you
Eli
kidding?
worked with him one day, and I was like, "So what'd you think of him?" He's like, "He's the worst person I've ever dealt with."
Well, that reminded me of, you guys might have already heard this, but I had someone on overnights who I asked to sweep our carpet, and they went and got a dust mop to sweep the carpet, and of course it doesn't work. They just put dust all over the carpet.
But that sounds like it'd work.
I
It's
mean,
and it wasn't even against
Cleaning
maybe the
supply,
metal,
thing
like
that
the
needs
shelf on
cleaned.
the overstock.
And
It was
just
on a
bang them
box.
together to
You
work.
should have just let him go for it, dude.
No.
Like,
I wanted to walk off,
Well,
just leave.
just watch the aftermath, and they're just stood there like, videotaped it.
Yeah, we're going to edit
Walk
this
up.
into the podcast.
It
Today's
was,
blooper reel.
and that's just one
impressive.
example of just horribleness. To where I really start to wonder where these overnight workers come from.
Crawl out of the woodwork.
It's like somebody lifts a rock, like it's winter, you can get a job again.
The holler finally thawed out. I don't know.
But see, I'm fine with people not knowing it, but you gotta ask. You gotta ask how to use. Like, okay,
But they watched a ladder safety video. I know that because I've watched that multiple times.
If you need to watch a video on how to use a ladder, just stop it. Like, give up.
play in
walk in the trap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go play on 119. Somebody will be by soon and take care of it.
Take this cinder block and hold it real tight. Jump off a bridge.
I said that in one of our meetings.
There's
one day.
seasonal
If
hires.
You don't know what our wigs are.
Like they're seasonal hires, so
highway
at the
there.
very least, they watched that video and they've watched a video called "Don't Molest Your Coworkers." I think that's it. Then they're set free to go do other stuff.
That doesn't always come out clearly, even
Yeah.
to the upper
Up on
levels.
the, yeah. we might have to have a refresher course on that.
You know, as I say, it's not always the. Don't molest your coworkers. Aww.
All right, we're ready to move to our top 5 video games.
We can talk about molestation more.
Who wants to go first?
I don't care.
I'll start. Why not? Okay, so top 5 video games, you know. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out. I'm sure none of you guys ever played computer games really back in the
11th hour and 7th guess.
that's close to the era that I'm talking about.
I watched
There
my
was
brother
a
play Myst.
Wolfenstein.
there was a
Baldur's
company called Sierra, and they made out all kinds of games. There were like King's Quest, Space Quest, Police Quest, and they were all text based, adventure games that that put in a lot of popular culture references and stuff like that. And I was kind of giving a shout out to that. Like, you never seen them, you missed out on one of the greatest, eras of gaming. But for starters, I've got Maniac Mansion, which was for the original Nintendo. And it was the story of a kidnapped girl, and you selected 3 out of 12 friends to go raid this mansion, and you had to sneak in, and you could almost pick up anything and use it with anything. You could put stuff in microwaves and explode it, and push a button underneath the stairs that drained the pool, which was a nuclear cooling reactor, which would blow up the house. It was really just zany and I never beat it. I never progressed very far in the game. I just had a really good time just taking all the different combinations of people. And I think you got caught, you get put in the dungeon, and then go to the next kid. You could switch back and forth to the people. Really,
What in the world?
it was a really intense game for a Nintendo game.
No kidding.
Just crazy. Maniac Mansion, check it out. The Secret of Mana, which was on the Super Nintendo. It was a Squaresoft game, which was, put out a whole bunch of RPGs. This one was, it wasn't a turn-based where you, picked attack or magic. You actually ran around and, could fight, it was an action RPG.
Like Fable.
Yeah. And then your weapons actually upgraded, instead of, your character kind of leveled up, but your weapons leveled up, and that's more what you wanted to do. Pretty awesome. One of my favorite role-playing games. The Legend of Zelda, which is, in my opinion, the best video game of all time. So,
Majora's Mask.
well, I have the series written down.
Right.
My personal
Ocarina
favorites
Time.
are the
I never
original,
really cared for 'em.
the Ocarina, and the Minish Cap, which is for the Game Boy Advance, I think. That one was up there. But the original Zelda was the first Nintendo game I ever played.
I always just thought it was too hard to beat.
The first thing, as soon as I had that, it was just, that's really what got me into gaming. Actually, by about a month ago, I sat down and beat it in 3 hours, because I can still remember all that. Then Resident Evil 2, which really isn't that great of a game. The controls are super clunky, the graphics aren't that great, but I fell in love with it because there's just something about shooting a zombie and its head blowing up. And
Was that the one that was in Start Out in the City?
yeah.
Okay.
And,
I vaguely remember that.
there's liquors and I mean, back then, it was actually kind of, scary, like I kind of enjoyed having that, just feeling of unease the whole time I was playing it because you never knew what was going to happen.
That damn dog in the first one was terrifying.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I don't know that they ever recreated the dog jumping from the first one.
Because no game ever did that. You're like, I'm going to go open the door, and then that just... Ah.
Yeah.
And then Dragon Quest VIII, which you two would like because I guess apparently the cat that did Dragon Ball Z did all the artwork for it, which made a beautiful game. And then there was just so much extra stuff to do. You could fight your monsters that you get, or just wander around and level up and make up magical items and whatnot. So,
I always wanted to play the Dragon Quest games, but never got around to it.
I like the original.
The original one was about the first Japanese role-playing game, the Dragon Warrior. Like, I got that for free with a subscription to Nintendo Power when I was like 9. But I wasn't really old enough to know what was going on. I mainly watched my sister play it.
Russian.
Huh?
Russian? It looked like it.
Oh. Do we have a Russian viewer?
Das Vedanya.
That means goodbye.
Well, never mind.
Not what he said.
That's why I logged off.
Bye, guy.
Okay. He's leaving now.
Alright. Next, I'll go last.
Alright. Go.
I'm going to start with Final Fantasy VII. I mean, Final Fantasy, what was it? 3 on the Super Nintendo, which was like something...
It was Final Fantasy 4
It was
or 5.
number different.
19 in Ukraine.
3 on the Super Nintendo was the first. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Or no, that was 2, because 3 had the weird cat guy. Anyway, 2 on the Super Nintendo was good. I'm probably the only human that ever played Final Fantasy 9. 8 was kind of weird.
I
played 9.
7 was the best one. There was.
One of the guys over there from 9.
I only played 13,
I beat
a little bit of 10, and like whichever one had Cecil in it. And I played
2,
it.
I think.
I played it until I used a cheating mechanism that caused me to be able to save somewhere, and then I lost progress in the game.
But 7 was fun. The gameplay was awesome because I like the RPG turn-based. I've always enjoyed those, no matter what, even if it's a Pokemon game. But
I mean,
the story was fantastic. I love that whole backstory.
I spent pretty much the years of 1997, 98, and 99 all playing Final Fantasy VII.
Like, I watched hours of my brother and his friend, besides me playing it. They played it. They maxed out the materia. They cloned the materia. Basically, did everything in that game, which all culminates into when you beat the Emerald Weapon, which is the hardest boss. Even still in like gaming history, it's like number 2 on the list because it was almost impossible to beat.
Yeah, it was like a 45-minute boss fight.
Yeah, it's like that, then the boss from like Parasite Eve's number 1. But
yeah, I left it off my list just because I just assume everybody knows that it's the best game ever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you guys will be happy to know that they just announced Cloud for Super Smash Brothers.
I know.
That's a little character, and which means he'll be getting an amiibo.
I might buy that amiibo.
Might get that amiibo. Yeah.
Next, I'm gonna go with Knights Old Republic.
Awesome game.
I'll say 2 also. 2's kind of weird and shorter, but the first one was fantastic.
It's hands down the greatest Star Wars game ever made.
And it's, besides like the current storyline and whatnot, I think it's the best storyline Star Wars ever had.
Yeah, because wasn't it like
3,000
years before it? Like, yeah.
Anything.
Everything about it was just awesome.
Yeah, and it was made by BioWare,
Yeah.
which was like the Mass Effect people. And it was...
They're good storytellers.
There was nothing like rolling around with, force push, and you would just open a door and just be, whoa, and like throw everybody in the room against a wall.
I can't remember that one that was like Ravage, where you pushed them away, but you sucked their life out of them and powered yourself. It was awesome.
Shame Force Unleashed didn't turn out to be.
Yeah.
Had good ideas, just
It
really
was
poor
fun.
execution.
It's really short, yeah.
Next, I'm going to cheat and say Halo. I'm going to say all of them.
You'll see.
My favorite Halo... I haven't played the new one yet, but my favorite is Reach. I thought it was one of the better stories. Just even it didn't have to have Chief in it. The fact he could be different Spartan was fun. It was a different game. It was like the Terminator Salvation of Terminator movies. Everybody hated it because it wasn't in the past with time travel. It was in the future. But I liked it. It's weird. You're weird. Mercenaries 2.
Oh no!
I got 2 more. Mercenaries 2 was just Grand Theft Auto with like military vehicles.
Never played those games.
Oh,
I bought Mercenaries 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I bought it for like $5.
Like once you build up, get money and whatnot, all you do is drive around tanks, helicopters, anything.
Call in like airstrikes.
Yeah. Like the top weapon, I think, still was a neutron bomb, and you can drop it in the middle of a city. Then there's enough time for you to fly away, and you can watch this huge ass mushroom cloud. Like if you go far away, then come back, like the city's back again. It doesn't stay destroyed, but it'll
old hardware.
it'll level the whole thing. It was awesome. But just the weapons.
Just cause for that.
Well, yeah, but
It was made by the same people.
That was 360,
yeah.
so
I went out because I bought it the other, like I said, a couple months ago, and I put it in, and I was like, oh, no wonder this is so much like Just Cause. It's Just Cause without a grappling hook.
Mercenaries was right before it. It was an early PlayStation 2 game. I'm gonna say GoldenEye is my last one. I don't need to explain GoldenEye. GoldenEye's GoldenEye. If you played it, you had an awesome childhood. If you didn't, you suck.
If you play it now, you'll hate your life.
It always gave me a headache, but I think that was mainly the Nintendo 64. Like that for whole first person, like it was all blurry to me. Like, but I still played it.
GoldenEye made me hate Halo when it first came out because I was like twin stick shooters. What the crap? Give me one single stick.
Yeah.
And buttons to strafe.
And I said it then, I'll say it again. If you used proximity mines, and that's your claim to that's what I was good at, you're a horrible game player. Period.
I'm good at people randomly walking into something that I just arbitrarily threw down.
Trap setting, I call it. I guess that means it's my turn. My first overall of all time is Super Mario Brothers 3 for the regular Nintendo. I think it was the high point of the series. Colorful levels. It took everything 1 and 2 and perfected it, in my opinion.
Just like the raccoon suit.
It was a blast.
The raccoon.
Like, it wasn't. There was a lot of variety to it, whereas Mario 1 was kind of like, okay, I've done this before. And then nothing that's come after it's really kind of tickled the itch like that one does. To this day, I can go back and play Mario Brothers 3 and
I
just
still
feel
like
giddy like a little kid.
Super Mario World's still one of the better ones on Super Nintendo. I thought that was just an amazing game.
I thought they were. I like it now. When it first came out, I was just like, this is too much. This is too different. What'd they do? Why is Mario spinning? This is weird. Who are these enemies? Next on my list would probably be Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I like the gratuitous violence. I like the characters. Played Mortal Kombat from the beginning to still.
Is that new? When did that come out?
Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3
Yeah.
came out. It was a version of Mortal Kombat 3 that added all the characters. It was for Sega Genesis. It was an arcade. It has like 30-some characters, but the character design for the ninjas was the best then. They added Cyber Smoke at that point.
I know 3 was PlayStation. I remember that.
Well,
I'm just saying that's
how
far back it was.
But again, it was kind of a high point in the series until Mortal Kombat X came around, and kind of 9 and X was kind of were good redemption games. Uncharted would be another one. The whole Uncharted series, but in particular Uncharted 1. It's hard to play now, just because it's so limited compared to what they added. But at the time when Uncharted 1 came out, I was just like, how can a game look like this and play like this? It's like playing an action movie. And it's fantastic. It outdid Tomb Raider. Although I hear the new Tomb Raiders
Yeah, the new
take the throne back, especially the new one that's for Xbox.
I played the last one. It's pretty good. I haven't played any of the Uncharted besides the first one. The first one was great. I need to pick up the other ones just because they're probably cheap now.
Oh yeah.
You can get
never played
you
it.
get them in a bundle for like $20 now or something like that. Then Smash Brothers Melee, particular for the GameCube, fantastic fighting game for party.
I pay attention when people join.
I love it because you don't do anything else. And then the last one is Power Stone. It came out for Dreamcast, and there was a sequel to it, but it was a arena fighting game. You could pick up things. You could turn into. You had like super transformations. I guess that's the best way to call it. And it was just you literally just are stuck in a room in a level, just beating the tar out of each other with whatever possible. It was awesome.
Yeah, like everything was like breakable.
Yeah.
And
Pick each other, throw into stuff. My honorable mention goes to Pokemon because from the beginning, Pokemon games have been solid, awesome, great games.
Have you even attempted that new stuff, or is that out yet? Where you use your phone.
Go. It's not out yet. Not till April of next year, I think.
You're gonna do that, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You're gonna be in the middle of work, and everyone's gonna be, "Where's Rob?
Oh,
he's outside trying to capture a Charmander.
Gotta catch them all.
The Charmander in the parking lot. He's going after it."
That's
Rob,
right.
Catch them.
Rob, catch him.
My games are all just probably popular games. I don't know. Like I was trying to debate
Madman.
about doing like actual quality games or just favorite games, and so I just tried to pick games that I played a lot. So
Gears of War.
well, see, I was debating on like Gears, or Modern Warfare because I played a lot of hours of both of those. Same as Madden, sports games and stuff like that. I mean, I used to play hours of sports games when I was a kid. Anyway, King Griffey Jr. Baseball.
Oh yeah.
Played it all the time.
Oh, I forgot that existed.
It's the baseball game I've played the most.
I think it's probably the best baseball game I've ever played.
I was actually trying to line it up and hit. I thought that was a pretty clever.
I always liked the. I like the fact that like, whatever the team name was, like the people's like names on the team, like they weren't real players. Like it was like the Detroit Tigers, it'd be like Motown people were all like. And like the Texas Rangers were like all like cowboys and like Texas people like.
I was trying to find a
W.
game.
Earp.
Do you remember a game for Nintendo that was called like Legends of the Diamond or something like that? It had like Ty Cobb and
It
all
was
these-
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was like baseball something.
Yeah, you could like get in a fight.
Yeah.
Like they would charge them out and then show like two people. I don't know. I was trying to think of
it
that
had
game.
like it was everybody that's like back in the day.
Yeah. WrestleMania 2000, which was
yeah.
for Nintendo 64. That and the Raw game, I forget what it was called.
No, there's no mercy.
Did those come out
it's No Mercy.
before or after the WCW games?
WCW games came out first, and then they went to WWF.
But I mean, they were all.
Because they have the
awesome
same
games.
control schemes.
Yeah. There's always a world tour.
I liked how the finishing moves were and everything.
Yeah.
It was.
And
I thought it was awesome.
that's when they really took the create a wrestler to
Yeah.
the next level, and you could like. I remember me and Bob Long had a tag team. We were awesome. I think my finishing move was the downward spiral.
I would like to find the games again. Like I
Yeah.
need to buy a 64 just so I can get these crappy old games again. Street Fighter 2, which I'm sure everybody played. I was debating on that or Mortal Kombat, but I probably played.
See, when you go to Street Fighter 2, I got to go to arcade. Like that's the best version of it.
I played that more, I think, than Mortal Kombat. Like I thought it was a harder game to beat.
Absolutely.
So
Which
you
is why
had
I
to
played
practice
Mortal
to be better
Which
at
is
it.
why I played Mortal Kombat, because I was just like, nah, this is too hard to just pick up and play. I want to just go to Mortal Kombat and where I can just...
Yeah, the fatalities are fun and everything, but it's like I wanted to take like each person all the way through to get their ending, and in order to do that, it took some practice. But
Rob's the guy that was Sub-Zero. It's like, make him slip and do the little bottom roundhouse. So they're
I hate Sub-Zero. Hated Sub-Zero.
I guess I'm obsessive or something because the games I have on here are just games that I played until It's like Tony Hawk Pro Skater's on here, and I just kept trying to like talk my own score, which is crazy when you think about it. Like, can I do like a 1200 or whatever?
I downloaded that for the 360, and it was the original one. It was like a remake, and I remember playing that one and just being like, I'm really awesome at this game. And then I went, like I said, I had it on the Xbox, and I ended up like being like in like the top like 30 like high scores on like all the things. So apparently I was really awesome at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
I like those games.
And the last one for me is Shining Force 2, which I played forever. Like, I was trying to get all of my characters up to level 99, even though there's no point, because you can't do that before you beat the final battle, but you can keep fighting the final battle till you get to the boss, and then save, and then fight again, which, once again, goes back to clearly I'm nuts, and I just fight this one battle over and over and over.
Gentlemen.
Alright, I'm going to add a couple honorable mentions, since you did. I'm going to throw Twisted Metal in there because they were just fun.
Yeah, Twisted Metal. I was thinking about that.
Twisted Metal 2 is the best one.
Yeah,
Black was a good game too, I thought.
Spent hours in Twisted Metal 2.
I know everybody's going to have a different one, but San Andreas was my favorite Grand Theft Auto.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was the big.
I always liked the third one. I mean, that was like your most
Third's
basic.
the one I played the most.
I loved the third
until
one.
5 came out.
Because that was
Five
like
was
groundbreaking. It came out. And
I was like, I
think 5 took what San Andreas did and just.
I had Fallout 3 written down. I really love that, but I just liked it because you can just mindlessly wander in one direction and just shoot stuff. And, not those games. I mean, it's really more just time consuming. It put me in a different world, which that's the point of playing games.
I think 4's gonna take the throne from 3 for me. I'm really
so long as it's not like glitchy McGlitcherson.
It's absolutely. I've only had the game crash once, and that's because I did something out of order. And when I tried to exit the door instead of loading, it was just like error.
Awesome.
Okay.
We're going to have to do this with each system, though.
Yeah, I have to go.
I mean, I want to talk about like Paperboy or whatever Nintendo games.
See, I
Rampage, King of Monsters.
We could just sit here and just talk about video games
right,
all
which is why I
damn
think
day long. Like
video games and toys.
Yeah, he just said Paperboy. I want to play Paperboy. Stat.
I still want to go to that retro game store up in Pennsylvania.
I tell you what, we need
Get
to do.
Get some stuff for the 64 so I can
We
play
need to
it.
hit the flea market. Apparently, the Milk Flea Market has like 2 or 3 old school vendors there.
Yes, we.
I almost bought a Game Gear from there, but they wanted like $90 for it, and I was like, nah.
It wasn't that much really on the Game Gear. That was.
But it was the one
Yeah.
Sega system I never owned.
I had an Atari Lynx.
I have a Game Gear right now. I bought it to get Shining Force 3, but that game is like $150, and the Game Gear was like 20.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, every time I've come across one, they're like, I want like $80 for it, and I'm like,
I'm in the process of trying to find
for
a
like
cheap.
3 hours battery life.
They've got the Game Boy player for the GameCube, where it just sits on top of it. But to find one that's actually working and has the disc that apparently you need, it's like $150. But you can find one like, $20, but it doesn't have the disc, so it doesn't do you any good. But that way you can play Game Boy and Game Boy.
Up through Game Boy Advance,
Up through Game Boy Advance, and it plays it on your TV.
Nice little border.
I remember the cartridge for the
So then I can
Super Nintendo.
actually play just about every Zelda game, because I own most of them.
Or that Sonic game that opened up, you can put that other Sonic game in it on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that was Sonic and Knuckles or something like that.
Sega.
Because
Okay.
I was gonna say, because they did it with Sega CD, like the.
I was thinking of
Yeah,
the
but
what was
with
the
the
point
Game
of that? I forgot it.
I
It was like a
totally
black
remember.
cartridge and something peeled back and you put another one on it.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. My cousin had that.
To get the tallest tower of games.
No, it was just
To cause a fire.
Yeah.
the one goes in it. I think it added stuff to the game or something.
Don't forget, stack it
Because
real
we
high,
had
and
it.
lean forward or lean backwards, depending on what
I
surface
remember
you have.
renting the one you put on Super Nintendo. You put Game Boy games in. That was a nice novelty thing.
Super Game Boy.
Yeah, Retales.
Super Boy. Mine just pertains to an unhappy, unsatisfied customer that I've had to deal with in the last couple of days. Nothing outrageous or anything like that. It was probably my fault. I didn't make myself clear enough, and so corporate got called on me and had to
Shame
deal
on
with
you.
it.
You've been doing awesome.
I try,
Number one stunner.
That's right. I like to make an impression.
Well, I had
Good or bad?
a certain item that had been laying in the middle of a container, like in a rip open box forever. So finally I clean it up and I build said thing. And we mark it down and put it out. It's already assembled.
Yeah.
And then I come back to work on Monday and it's back there with it's been returned, doesn't work. So I pull it and look, and the reason it doesn't work is because the battery's disconnected, which is what we're supposed to do when we build a display, is unhook the battery so some asshole's not riding around our store in a go-kart.
Like they try to anyway.
But, we just return stuff because nobody's smart enough to be like, oh, well, maybe, I could just, these two things that are right here that I can see that aren't connected, maybe that's the reason that this won't work.
It's working!
So, that just kind of pissed me off.
What was the one you were talking to Eli about? The people that wanted the controller to make a power wheel go faster?
Oh, that was me.
Well, no, but
Oh, no, they were talking about the...
Speed
was-
inhibitor.
I had just heard about it when he was talking to Eli.
some of them they can go to higher speed. So instead of going 2.5 miles per hour, they go 5?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
And what it is there's a screw in there, and you take the screw out, and it can go up a notch. And these people were wanting
Some remote handheld switch.
yeah.
So I had to call them the other day and say, I left a message because they didn't answer, and I was like, this is the situation. This is, I don't know if anybody's called you yet, but I'm going to let you know.
Stupid.
There's a little screw-on panel on the side of the shifter knob. Just unscrew that, and a little switch that you just pop up to the next speed and screw it back on there. That's your parental speed inhibitor thing that you're looking for that you claim didn't come in the box. You're not going to stand in the yard and be like, boop, slow down. Just face plant. And some little kid's like,
Too dangerous. Slower.
Yeah.
over the windshield.
5 miles an hour is entirely way too fast.
No, you know what it is? It's there to out of shape and be conditioned to catch the kid at 5 miles an hour. I need a remote to throttle it back.
Stop. Listen to me. Come back here. Why can't you be better?
You have anything? You didn't get to yours.
I mean, that's the gist of it. There's
Well,
not anything to go into it.
He's going to add on and get mad at the people I work with about it, but I don't like that, and it's not just a season thing, so this isn't just seasonal workers that I hate, even though I do hate their guts. I don't know why it is so hard to put a trash bag in a trash compactor and pushing it to the back so that it's not like the whole chute's filled with bag.
That bar?
Oh, was it a little sticky and somebody didn't want to touch it? Because I have to touch it all the time when I do that.
I mean, that's the only option I can think of is somebody didn't want to touch the gross bar that we used to.
Like, I wrapped tape around one end and wrote handle so that part could be clean, but every time I grab it, it's just gross, and I have to clean it off again.
I think everybody's just... I don't think it has anything to do with
Lazy
anything
as
other than the
shit.
fact that it would take extra effort, and they're all just lazy scumbags.
The other night, I think when you closed on a Sunday night, we go into work truck, and we're trying to clean up, get the dock ready, all that, and the trash bag's just sitting there on the floor right in front of the desk. So it was too much work to open the door. At least set it in there.
Lost the viewer on lazy scumbag.
Yeah.
They took offense to that.
Good.
Scumbag.
Yeah. Too lazy to keep watching.
Yeah.
Scumbag.
We not interesting enough for you?
I have an old story that I forgot about until my wife reminded me when I was going through stuff, trying to put a book
bless
together.
her heart.
It was an awesome story, and I don't think any of you know it. which will make it that.
That much
All right,
more
so
riveting.
back when Mike was our assistant, so around the remodel, I had a guest who came into our store about a swing set, and she said that we were holding a swing set for her. So I go and I look for the swing set, and I can't find it, nothing on this lady's name. So go and tell her, I don't have a swing set. Who did you talk to? I talked to Mike. Okay. Let me look. No, we don't have any. Not showing any. Haven't had any in forever. It's pretty late in the year. Haven't had the swing set in a while. Mike's not here. Are you sure you talked to Mike? Yeah, I'm sure I talked to Mike. I'm 100%. And just real agitated that I don't have her swing set. I drove like 3 hours to get here for this
All the way
swing
from
set.
St. Albans.
No, I forget where she told me she was from, but I mean, it wasn't local. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So she's just agitated that we don't have this swing set. So it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on. We haven't had it in forever. Why, I'll call Mike. He didn't work today. It's like, well, it was yesterday that I spoke with him. Okay. Hate to bother him, but I call him at home. So it's like, hey man, did you talk to somebody about a swing set? Man, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, well, I got this lady here who said she talked to you on the phone. You're holding a swing set for her. She's supposed to come and pick up. Like, she told me it was Mike. She told me she talked to you. It's like, man, we haven't had that swing set forever. Like, I wouldn't tell somebody we had that. I don't know why she's there. It's like, all right. So then I go and man, I spoke with him. I don't know, who you spoke with here that would, misinform you like that. It wasn't him. And then she starts getting mad and arguing. So, okay. When did you call? Who did you talk to? And I start getting into trying to find out what exactly is going on.
Where's the missing link?
It's like, well, I've got the number off the website. So clearly, I called this store. It's like, all right, what number did you call? It's like, well, and she gives me this phone number. And it's like, well, that's not our store number. Like, hold on. I'm starting to think, it's like, let me look at Charleston, South Carolina, and see. So I look. Look at Charleston, South Carolina's stores, and they have one whose store manager's name is Mike. And it's the phone number that the lady gave me because she called the store in Charleston, South Carolina.
Area code
and
like 840 or something like that.
Talked to
340.
Mike, the store manager, who had her swing set on hold and everything for her. And it's like, well, sorry, there's little letters next to the state, next to the cities that actually mean something.
Ours start with a W, theirs starts with an S.
I mean,
if you got to dial an area code that's not your area code, which there's only one in West Virginia, that might be like a...
You didn't have to dial that around here.
That
I'm
might
assuming
jump
when
out.
he was talking about this, you didn't have. Sometimes you have to actually put a 304 now. You didn't have to.
It's because there's 681 is the second one
I know.
in West Virginia, but that wasn't
the case then.
that wasn't the case then. Yeah, when Mike
you could
worked
just call a number and
at the store.
No,
there
it was
just one.
2011. It was awesome though. This lady was bad. She was like
Right, I know.
yelling,
That's
complaining, and I'm like,
You're the one that called South Carolina.
and then at that point she just kind of touched her tail between her legs.
Oh.
But
That's pretty good.
yeah.
I don't think I'd heard that before.
Yeah, I know. Of all the things.
So what's this band you were playing about last week? Album.
I planned on listening through it again, and I couldn't. I tried. I started the album again to try to listen through it again to kind of gather my thoughts better. It's Fetty Wap.
I don't know who that is.
done.
Yeah, I'm out. Don't know.
Their reaction was my reaction after getting through the album once. It's like, all right, this is what the next big thing in rap music is. Jay, do you have your phone on you?
I don't.
We can't
I'm not.
play the.
I'm not gonna play.
We don't
music.
have the rights.
What I want to do
Fetty Wap.
is I want to read the description iTunes gives for Fetty Wap.
I'll get it up real quick.
Okay. because it makes him out to be this thing, and I'd not heard it. So I don't listen to radio music. I don't listen to stuff that's playing on TV. I just don't. I listen to the stuff I like, and that's about the end of it.
Find what you need.
Thanks, man. And
just by the name Fetty Wap, I would not listen to it.
Is it like
What's that saying on the
Kevin and K-Fed and
low battery?
Oh, yeah.
Who cares?
I don't know why it is so hard to put a trash bag in a trash compactor and pushing it to the back so that it's not like the whole chute's filled with bag.
That bar?
Oh, was it a little sticky and somebody didn't want to touch it? Because I have to touch it all the time when I do that.
I mean, that's the only option I can think of, is somebody didn't want to touch the gross bar that we used to...
Like, I wrapped tape around one end and wrote handle so that part could be clean, but every time I grab it, it's just gross, and I have to clean it off again.
I think everybody's just... I don't think it has anything to do with anything other than the fact that it would take extra effort, and they're all just lazy scumbags.
The other night, I think when you closed on a Sunday night, we go into work truck, and we're trying to clean up, get the dock ready, all that, and the trash bag's just sitting there on the floor right in front of the desk. So it's too much work to open the door. At least set it in there.
Lost the viewer on lazy scumbag.
Yeah.
They took offense to that.
Good.
Scumbag.
Yeah. Too lazy to keep watching.
Yeah.
Scumbag.
We not interesting enough for you?
I have an old story that I forgot about until my wife reminded me when I was going through stuff, trying to put a book together. It was an awesome story, and I don't think any of you know it, which will make it that.
That
All right, so back when Mike was our assistant, so around the remodel, I had a guest who came into our store about a swing set, and she said that we were holding a swing set for her. So I go and I look for the swing set, and I can't find it. Nothing on this lady's name. So go and tell her, I don't have a swing set. Who did you talk to? I talked to Mike. Okay. Let me look. No, we don't have any. Not showing any. Haven't had any in forever. It's pretty late in the year. Haven't had the swing set in a while. Mike's not here. Are you sure you talked to Mike? Yeah, I'm sure I talked to Mike. I'm 100%. And just real agitated that I don't have her swing set. I drove like 3 hours to get here for this
all the way
swing
from
set.
St. Albans.
No, I forget where she told me she was from, but I mean, it wasn't local. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So she's just agitated that we don't have this swing set. So it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on. We haven't had it in forever. I'll call Mike. He didn't work today. It's like, well, it was yesterday that I spoke with him. Okay. Hate to bother him, but I call him at home. So it's like, hey man, did you talk to somebody about a swing set? Man, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, well, I got this lady here who said she talked to you on the phone. You're holding a swing set for her. She's supposed to come and pick it up. Like, she told me it was Mike. She told me she talked to you. It's like, man, we haven't had that swing set forever. Like, I wouldn't tell somebody we had that. I don't know why she's there. It's like, all right. So then I go and man, I spoke with him. I don't know, who you spoke with here that would, misinform you like that. It wasn't him. And then she starts getting mad and arguing. So, okay. When did you call? Who did you talk to? And I start getting into trying to find out what exactly is going on.
Where's the missing link?
It's like, well, I've got the number off the website. So clearly, I called this store. It's like, all right, what number did you call? It's like, well, and she gives me this phone number. And it's like, well, that's not our store number. Like, hold on. I'm starting to think, it's like, let me look at Charleston, South Carolina, and see. So look at Charleston, South Carolina's stores, and they have one whose store manager's name is Mike. And it's the phone number that the lady gave me because she called the store in Charleston, South Carolina.
Area code
and
like
talked
840 or something like that.
Talked to
340.
Mike, the store manager, who had her swing set on hold and everything for her. And it's like, well, sorry, there's little letters next to the state, next to the cities that actually mean something.
Ours start with a W, theirs starts with an S.
I mean,
if you got to dial an area code that's not your area code, which there's only one in West Virginia, that might be like
you didn't have to dial that around here.
That
I'm
might
assuming
jump
when
out.
he was talking about this, you didn't have. Sometimes you have to actually put a 304 now. You didn't have to.
It's because there's 681 is the second one
I know.
in West Virginia, but that wasn't
the case then.
that wasn't the case then. Yeah, when Mike
you could
worked
just call a number and
at the store.
No,
there
it was
just one.
2011. It was awesome though. This lady was mad. She was like
Right,
yelling,
that's
complaining, and I'm like,
you're the one
Yeah.
that called South Carolina.
and then at that point she just kind of touched her tail with pointy legs.
Oh.
But
That's pretty good.
yeah,
I don't think I heard that before.
I know. Of all the things.
so what's this band you were playing about last week? Album.
I planned on listening through it again, and I couldn't. I tried. I started the album again to try to listen to it again to kind of gather my thoughts better. It's Fetty Wap.
I don't know who that is.
done.
Yeah, I'm out. Don't know.
Their reaction was my reaction after getting through the album once. It's like, all right, this is what the next big thing in rap music is. Jay, do you have your phone on you?
I don't.
We can't
I'm not.
play the.
I'm not gonna play
We don't have
music.
the rights.
What I want to
Fetty
do
Wap.
is I want to read the description iTunes gives for Fetty Wap.
I'll get it up real quick.
Okay. Because it makes him out to be this thing, and I'd not heard it. So I don't listen to radio music. I don't listen to stuff that's playing on TV. I just don't. I listen to the stuff I like, and that's about the end of it.
Find what you need.
Thanks, man. And
Just by the name Fetty Wap, I
Absolutely.
would not listen to it.
Is it like
What's that saying on the?
Kevin and K-Fed and
low battery.
oh yeah.
Who cares?